Welcome to today's episode of Heard and Seen Around. I am Rajesh Karipurath. This is my take on macroeconomic and geoeconomic data points, which I find interesting. I hope you enjoy watching it as much as I enjoyed curating it. Cheers.
The plan was solid. Reality simply refused to cooperate. Ambiguity, where accountability goes to relax. If you can't convince them, confuse them. It scales better. The budget is tight. Miraculously, expectations are not. Opportunity knocks quietly. Panic kicks the door in.
Global trade wind is not evenly spread, it's concentrated. European Union accounts for roughly 28.5% of world trade. Add USMCA at 15.9% and ASEAN at 7.7%, and you're already looking at a massive chunk of global commerce controlled by a few coordinated blocs. Meanwhile, smaller groupings like the Gulf Cooperation Council, NAFTA and EFTA play more targeted but strategic roles. The message is simple. Market access increasingly runs through alliances, not just bilateral ties. For countries outside these big umbrellas, negotiating entry or deeper integration isn't optional, it's economic leverage. Nearly 44% of US unicorn founders were not born in the United States, and India leads the pack by a wide margin. 90 Indian-born founders in the US unicorn ecosystem. That's not participation, that's influence. It tells you something powerful. Talent is global, but opportunity scales where capital, markets and ecosystems meet. Silicon Valley may provide the runway, but a significant chunk of pilots learn to code somewhere else. This is not just a migration story, it's a human capital story. The corporate leaderboard is not carved in stone, it's written in pencil. Of the top 10 companies in the S&P 500 in 2025, only 4 were there a decade earlier. That's creative destruction in real time. Back in 1985, it was oil, autos, and industrial giants. By 2005, finance and pharma muscled in. Fast forward to 2025 is a tech-heavy lineup. AI chips, cloud platforms, digital ecosystems. Capital flows to growth, and growth keeps changing addresses. The takeaway for investors, dominance has a shelf life. Today's moat can become tomorrow's museum exhibit. After central banks piled into gold post-2022, the insurance trade did not stop at bullion. Governments are now hoarding and restricting across metals, energy and food. The message is clear, supply security is national security. Data shows a sharp jump in export bans, taxes and trade restrictions across food, energy and industrial metals compared to 2017 to 2019. That's not routine policy noise, that's strategic positioning. In a fragmented world, commodities aren't just inputs, they're leverage. The freezing of Russia's reserves was a turning point. Since then, physical assets have looked safer than financial promises. A large-scale study by Microsoft and Salesforce researchers analyzed 2 lakh plus simulated conversations and found something very uncomfortable. Major LLMs perform significantly worse in multi-turn conversations than in single fully specified prompts. Across models, GPT-4 class systems, Claude, Gemini, Llama, performance dropped on an average by 39% in multi-turn settings. Not because they suddenly became dumb, but because unreliability rises sharply. Early assumptions snowball. A small misunderstanding in turn 1 becomes a confident wrong answer by turn 5. In simple terms, when the model takes a wrong conversational turn, it often doubles down instead of course correcting.